Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, it's episode 3 of What Makes This Song Great. The song we're going to be looking at today is the 1976 classic from Steely Dan's Royal Scam record, Kid Charlemagne. Let's get started. Let me begin by talking about the players that are playing on the track. Many of you know that Steely Dan is comprised of two people, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. Donald Fagen sings lead vocal and plays organ on this tune, and Walter Becker plays rhythm guitar. There's also some of the greatest studio musicians of all time playing on this. You have Bernard Purdie on the drums, Chuck Rainey on the bass, Larry Carlton on lead guitar, Don Grolnick on the Fender Rhodes, and Paul Griffin on the clavinet. There's a whole host of vocalists that are singing background vocals, including Michael McDonald, who is the lead singer of the Doobie Brothers. Let's check out the track. One thing to notice are the keyboard and clavinet parts together. Incredible pocket, Bernard Purdie. Listen to this opening fill here. Listen to the tom tracks by themselves. Again. Here's a snare and toms. That's just the snare. All the ghost notes. This is on tape 25 years before Pro Tools. 20 years at least. Here's a fill going into the check it out from the verse. Have your guitar. Bass. Let's hear bass and drums together. Bass and drums from the verse. Chuck Rainey. That is so in the pocket. I'll add the keys in it. Let's talk about the guitar part that happens in the verse. So it's pretty much made up of either 3 or 4 note chords on the top strings. It starts with this little A minor triad here at the 5th fret. Check it out. Then to an E minor here, but the bass note is G, so it's really a G6 chord. So it's going from A minor to G6. Then it goes to a B flat 13 with a 9th on top, but only playing the top strings. There, so you've got here A minor to E minor, then to this D, G, C chordal voicing, then to the B flat 13 9 chord. Listen again. The next section is the pre-chorus, which is a really signature part. And here's the guitar part. It starts with a G triad here at the 3rd fret, and it goes to a C triad. Listen to it. And then it goes. So it does an E minor triad here in the inner strings to D minor. Okay. Then it goes to E minor 7. And then C, and then So it's doing C, E, B, D to D, E, like a sus chord. Then the second time through, you're into the chorus after that line. So here we go. All that is going between F triad to a G triad on the top string. Listen. Right here. Now you have the Larry Carlton guitar enter. Listen. So it comes in with an F7, slides into an F7 to a G7. Then into a C7 chord. Basically just playing the E string, A string, G string, and B string. So. And then into the solo. There's some cool fills here. He does a little rake right there. Check it out. Then, so we got, then he quickly goes back up that here. Then he goes, slides in again. Into the same thing he did before, and then we're into the solo. There's a little chordal lick that happens in the rhythm guitar just before the solo. E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, but it's only playing the note E, C sharp, and G. And then the solo begins. Now, let's talk about the solo. This is one of the greatest solos of all time. It's, I can't think of a solo that actually has the harmonic and linear complexity in a pop tune, a tune that was a huge hit like this. This Larry Carlton solo is really one of a kind. I honestly don't know of a tune that's this complex, that has this complex of a solo. Check it out. Then the second line is here. He slides in. So now the really interesting part comes in. Then here's another cool lick. So it's really. Then the next lick. Then. Then this one is amazing. He slides in like this. Another great lick. So it's 5th fret, and then like down in E minor 7, right? And then the this is a killer lick. So he uses a pedal point off the C. And then comes down over the B flat 7 chord. Once again. Great lick. He's using a C major triad over here to give the sharp 11, the dominant 7 sharp 11 sound. Mixed sharp 11 or Lydian flat 7. So he's got 2 pedal point licks in a row. It's all A minor pentatonic then. Then he's using the pedal point up here, which is really killer, and he climbs down to the root on it. Okay, then we're into A minor pentatonic at the 5th fret, like this. And using the G major triad here. Listen to it over the chords. Let me go back a little bit, play along with it. Right here. Then he goes into this one. And then the next line. Then he does the coolest climb lick ever here. Right here. It goes like this. So you're on like an E minor pentatonic. Then slide. Listen. Then he goes. So he does a bend with the first finger. Then he goes. That's one of the best solos that you'll ever hear. Not my performance, Larry Carlton. For those of you that know the tune, you know that there's another solo at the end that's also amazing. It's a super bluesy out chorus guitar solo. Play a little bit solo here. Larry Carlton. Okay, now let's check out the vocals.
On the hill, the stuff was
Vocals.
but yours was kitchen clean. Everyone stopped to stare at your Technicolor motorhome. Every apron had your number on the wall. You must have had it all. You'd go to
No auto-tune.
on a dare and
All
you'd
done
go
on tape.
home. Could you live forever?
Great harmonies.
Could you see the day? Could you feel your whole world fall apart and fade away? Get it long.
Wow.
Get it long, Kid Charlemagne. Get it long, Kid Charlemagne.
That's about probably 6 vocals right there.
Get it long. Get it long, Kid Charlemagne.
No
Get
auto-tune.
it long, Kid Charlemagne.
That's some pro singing right there.
Get it long. Get it long, Kid Charlemagne. Get it long, Kid Charlemagne.
Okay, let's do a little point of comparison. Now this is kind of apples and oranges, but I'll play you the Bruno Mars drum groove from 24K Magic, and I'm going to put it next to Bernard Purdy's real drum playing. Check them out. Now, when I was talking about the Bruno Mars tune, I said the tune would have been much better had he used a real drummer instead of the drum program. And you can really see how silly it sounds next to somebody really that can play a groove. I'm not saying you shouldn't use electronic drums, but if you got the choice between a real person and programming a groove, you can hear that flow versus the stiffness of a programmed groove. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. Hit the notification buttons to let you know when I have a new video or I'm going live. And also, if you're interested in the Beato book, which will show you strategies to solo like Larry Carlton does in this tune, you can go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. Thanks for watching.